Happy Tuesday, everybody, you honorable members of the clan. So let's go to the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry at the Bridget Mabandla Lecture Hall, I think it's called. Anyways, so Mr. Fidel Adams is currently on the hot seat. And that seat has not been warm at all. It was go, 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 go. And there are some things that I picked up from Fidel Adams. Fidel Adams is the type of person whose arrogance will never allow him to be seen or called a liar, because he spins these lies, and then when he is caught on those lies, he is going to climb that mountain of lies, and it's the hill that is willing to die on. You know, a whole hour and about 7 minutes was a debate about the emails that he got from the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry in October. And then he said, well, my laptop, and he's still sticking on the laptop story. He is not changing the laptop story that it freezes, it ejects his password. And the only time he got to see the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry communication was 3 months ago. This is the part where most YouTubers like myself will say, just shut up. Shut up. You have a constitutional privilege of remaining silent. Even when the media sticks their microphones in your mouth, you say nothing. Because if you open your mouth, anything and everything you say can and will be used against you in the court of law. 2 videos from ENCA were played where he caught himself in his own lie, and he brings that lie to the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry. It's like, oh no, what I was saying to ENCA, the context was with how I used Qola's email, what do you call this, laptop, because my laptop was freezing. So Mr. Qola is also my witness, plus I sent proof to the media to demonstrate that my laptop was not working. But that was not the question that Justice Madlanga was asking. And it was Justice Madlanga who told the other commissioners, the Miegening Mina. He doesn't take us seriously, number one. And number two, I want to expose him to be a liar. And once he's exposed as a liar, he's discredited. Anything that he will say in that Madlanga Commission of Inquiry is discredited on the basis that he already laid the foundation that he is a liar. So anyways, he says, no, he has provided that proof to the media that his laptop had frozen, and he used another member of parliament's laptop. But the question was, from October till 3 months ago, where is that proof? Dololo. And he kept going around the bushes. I'm like, bro, all you have to say to Justice Madlanga is, I don't have proof of my frozen or freezing laptop between October and 3 months ago when I saw the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry communique. That's all that he had to say. And then when he came on the 11th of August, he was told he was told flat out that the laptop story is a lie. The Madlanga Commission does not believe that story. I did not believe it either, because he's a member of parliament. And we all know that, maybe not all of us know this, but members of parliament, they get their salary and it's untouched. They don't touch it like you and me, when we get paid. By the time you wake up in the morning, when the money clocked at 12, you are left with petrol money and groceries. Everything else gone. With them, they don't experience that kind, unless before they became members of parliament, they were in debt or all that sort of stuff. So yeah, there'll be debit orders, but they don't touch that money because they live in parliamentary village. In the parliamentary village, groceries are down for them. They got domestic workers. They got drivers to parliament. They have all these things that you and I would would love to have in our lives too. They got security, they have everything, they got free flight tickets to and fro wherever they come from. I was quite surprised to hear him say he used his own money to get to the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry, even though I think the Madlanga Commission, if you live outside of Pretoria, you'll be provided with transportation that includes flights and accommodation if you are going to be at the Madlanga for a lengthy period of time. So Madlanga was like, you need to admit that you lied about your laptop not working, or at least you not seeing the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry communication from the Madlanga Commission to you in October. Aye, we went around the bushes. Aye, we went around the bushes. So subsequently, Justice Madlanga had to ask this question in a very clever way. In a very, very clever way. Instead of calling him a liar, or he said a fib, or he was untruthful, because those are the words Adams was running away from. So Madlanga said, okay, the question I'm asking you, between October and 3 months ago, your laptop, there's no proof that it was working or not working. That's when he said yes. Then I was like, that's all you needed to do. Now, the inference is quite clear. He lied. That's the inference. He lied. And that is noted by the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry that Fidel Adams came on the 11th of August and told a lie about his laptop freezing, and he could not produce any evidence, even though Adams kept trying to get the Madlanga Commission to invite Parliament, the ICT of Parliament, to answer to this. And yet Parliament has responded multiple times, if I'm not mistaken, that there's no records of Mr. Adam having issues with his laptop. As a matter of fact, Parliament exposed, like I said, many people did not know that members of Parliament are given free everything. Do you see those gadgets, including the iPhone? I think they get something like 5,000 Rand free Wi-Fi and airtime, SMSs, you name them, for free. Yeah, for free. So what excuse do you have that your iPhone, he says, well, if you look at my iPhone, it does not have WhatsApp, it's not linked to any email. That to me is a violation. I don't know what the constituency rules are, but I'm sure there's a rule somewhere in Parliament that you must always be accessible to your constituency. But his cell phone does not have an email link or WhatsApp. Okay, I can understand about WhatsApp, but email, that is very important. You get a tablet, as Parliament was informing the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry, and the reason a tablet was being issued, it is issued as an alternative if your laptop gives you issues. And we're like, yeah, that sounds just about right. But he did not talk about the tablet. He only spoke about the cell phone as well as the laptop. I think the Madlanga Commission themselves, the commissioners, may not also understand or know that there's also a tablet that they can question him on as an alternative to his freezing computer. And I think we would have, seen that he's lying, like completely lying. But anyways, he was lying. He was lying. Now, here are my thoughts about Fidel Adams. I think Fidel Adams has an issue with Parliament. I think there's no love lost between himself and Parliament. And it's also, we also understand that he's suspended by Parliament for 20 days for putting Parliament into disrepute. So maybe all of those things will add to his disregard and disdain for Parliament, because he's very adamant about Parliament ICT department not assisting as much as they should with his laptop, despite them responding that there's no records of him ever coming to get his laptop fixed. I believe Parliament, by the way. I believe Parliament. And I think he is tarnishing as well the image of Parliament. And he is actually accusing Parliament of defaming him for lying that he had brought his laptop to ICT there. I still don't believe that either. I just think he's bitter about one thing or another that happened to him in Parliament or with Parliament. The Speaker of Parliament, probably, I don't know. Maybe the Secretary of Parliament. No one knows what problems or issues he has with them. But you can pick it up that he does not like Parliament, just like he does not like the PKTT. Oh, every moment he gets, he wants to mention PKTT, even when it's irrelevant, because he did drag PKTT on that hot seat in the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry. They broke into Parliament and made an arrest. And then Justice Madlanga was like, but how is that relevant to what we are asking you? So he loathes, of course, the PKTT. Now that he is going to lead his statement, I'm sure the PKTT is going to feature a lot in his statement when they return from tea break. And of course, Fanny Masemula, I don't think is going to be spared either. Tlatlap Kwanas is not going to be spared. He's just going to hit at everybody that he feels that needs to be thrown under the bus, which also includes our girl, our Drew Ransami. I think she is a fair game when it comes to Fidel Adams. So now he was read out all the aspects that they are going to charge when he starts testifying. And basically, it's only what he had submitted as either opening a case or submitting some documents to prove his case or state his case or whatever it's going to be. The second thing that I observed about Fidel Adams is his confidence. Fidel Adams' confidence, I believe it's very much misplaced. He is very confident of himself, but at the same time, he is intimidated by particularly Justice Madlanga. And he kept saying that, listen, I will never win a debate with you, which to me tells me he thinks this is a game. It's a game of who's going to win, who's going to lose. No, this is you coming to the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry and assisting the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry whether there is criminal element that has infiltrated our police. Is there political influence in our police? That's what you are there for. You are not there to debate, to win. We, as the people that are watching, we don't care about who wins, who loses. We want to know the truth. However painful the truth is, that's what we are looking for. We are not looking for you to tell us that, oh, Justice Madlanga, I can never. I can never. Or in fact, all three of you. Like, how mature is that? That was not mature at all to me. And then the third thing, of course, that I observed, I think he has convinced himself that in as much as, because I was checking out, I mean, what's his highest grade that he has achieved, or tertiary institution that he may have attended, whether he graduated or didn't graduate, it did not matter. But I just interested to understand his logic and how he connects dots. He's scattered. So that it's quite clear that there is a situation with his IQ. And I tried to, estimate it, and I was like, it's between 65 up to 75. That's how it did to me. And I know somebody will be like, oh, that's a person who's not. Yeah, you could be right. He's not smart. He's not smart. And he proved it that he's not smart because he engaged himself in a frivolous debate. In fact, it wasn't frivolous because it was Justice Madlanga that brought it up. But there's a word, tedious. He became tedious. I'm talking about Adams, became tedious, and therefore the entire engagement became tedious. All that Madlanga wanted from Adams was, did you lie? Yes or no? He said no. And then when he says no, then it sparks a whole, like, Justice Madlanga has to start again to submit why he is saying he lied, and he will defend himself. He will go that direction. And in most cases, people with low IQ, that's what they do. When they have been shown, ish, yeah, there's a high chance that it is indeed what Justice Madlanga is thinking. I lied. Then instead of him trying to cut this, because you could tell he just want this over and done with, then even when Justice Madlanga wants to say something, he would say, Justice Madlanga, whatever you're going to say, I concede to it. He doesn't even know what Justice Madlanga is going to say. In most cases, people with low IQ, that's what they do. Some people call them conflict avoiders. They don't want to engage you. They don't want to be held accountable by just dismissing, like, yeah, I want this thing over and done with. So yeah, I agree. Anything that you want to say, I agree. But you will still walk away and repeat the same thing over and over and over because you refuse to be held accountable before. So there's no sense of accountability when it comes to Fidel Adams, from what I was observing. And another thing that I would have said if I was Fidel Adams right at the beginning, maybe 20 minutes into this conversation, I would have said, okay, I think I see where I made a mistake. I'm a member of parliament. And he did that probably already in an hour, 30 minutes into what he just said. Not 1 hour, 30 minutes, 1 hour, let's say probably like 45-minute mark. That's when he started reminding the commissioners that he's a member of parliament. He works every day. He wakes up at 5, or he leaves the house at 5 and he returns. Thank God, he arrives at 11, he says, at night. During the day, he is consulting, he's stopping gang violence, he's stopping this, and he's working on that. And then I was like, yeah, human beings, when they are busy, they tend to forget. You may have seen a notification. It happens to me too. I may have seen a notification of an email, and then because I am busy, I cannot respond to it immediately, but it's something that I do a mental note that I'm going to get to this email and then respond. And sometimes when you get home and you're looking through your phone, you no longer see the notification. I think maybe because there are too many notifications, it kind of also just remains in the inbox. If he said he had forgotten, I think that debate would have, ended. It would have ended like that way. He is not seen as a liar by the commissioners, but also him who know the real truth, he would have gotten away with it. Like, at least I just said I'm a human being, I forgot. You see, the moment you put the human element to it, nobody can debate that. Nobody will say you are lying. But when you are going to stick to a freezing laptop and you work in government, not just any, you are the government. And then you know that I can walk into an ICT department, I will come out with a new laptop because that's what they do. You would have came out with a new laptop. So that is why I find it very difficult for to believe him about this laptop. And you also could see when it comes to, technology, he relies a lot on his PA or his personal assistant and things of that nature. And then fourthly, I thought he was being unserious. And I still think he's on the streak of not taking the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry seriously. You have a lawyer? Have you seen witnesses with lawyers? They come with their lawyers at the Madlanga Commission. They get introduced and they're on record. And then they would guide him like, okay, or maybe make an application on his behalf, like he was making an application on his behalf by saying, hey, some of these documentation were sent to me last night, and my lawyer advised me not to speak on it. The lawyer could have come today and made an application to postpone so that they can consult, and then at a date that is going to be determined by the evidence leader and Adams' lawyer. But no, Adams is the one who's making his own application, and while he's making his own application to postpone, he says, "Well, I will also hand it over to you, Justice Madlanga, to determine whether you should postpone it or not." And I'm thinking, do you want a postponement or not? You see, the people you vote for are hilarious, guys. And I keep saying it, that Fidel Adams, he is showing you guys the kind of caliber of members of parliament you have in that parliament, and why I don't take them seriously. You see, I hope you are watching and you are realizing that. But I will say it again. If you are ever implicated in a crime, or you are accused of a crime and it happens to be high profile, stay away from the media. Stay away from the media. What you say will be used against you. Look, even the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry is going to be using what he also said at the ad hoc committee. Why? Because you don't understand the power of remaining silence. I can look at him looking all dumbfounded, and he even says that, "Oh, don't mind me," and on social media where I act like a fool. No, whatever you say, and you say about the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry, or implications that were bestowed on you, and you talk about it on social media, it can be used against you. It can be, all of them can be used against you. So whether you are playing foolish or you are being serious, the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry or any tribunal or legal tribunal will take as, "Oh, he was joking." No. Anyways, those are my observations and thoughts about Fidel Adams' second appearance at the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry. So they're about to come back from tea time. What time is it? Come on, laptop. Don't do it me like Fidel Adams. It's 11:25 right now. So while I'm listening, I will have to be editing this very video. Anyways, guys, thank you all so much for listening. Now he is diving into his statement, and I cannot wait for cross-examination. Fidel Adams is either going to walk out there very angry, or he might not return, or he will come back, just admit to everything. Who knows? Anything can happen with him. Other than that, I'll see you guys a little later. Please enjoy your Tuesday. Goodbye.